Hey, what's up out there? It's Dave Duford here at Final Expense Agent Mentor, where I help agents like you succeed in selling more final expense. And that is, in fact, the purpose of today's video. We are going to talk about the truth about Facebook final expense leads. Perhaps you have seen videos, testimonials, and write-ups about the new and improved great new thing on the market for final expense leads regarding the generation of Facebook leads or final expense leads on Facebook. The purpose of this video is designed to give you some perspective on really how the Facebook leads work, and more importantly, to compare them to the tried and true methods of direct mail lead generation and, to an extent, telemarketing lead generation. So what are Facebook leads? So Facebook leads essentially are usually provided by a vendor where you order, just like you would with a direct mail campaign, telemarketing campaign, which particular areas you want to target. Be that the counties, cities, states, zip codes. You give those leads to a vendor, and then usually several days later, you begin to get leads, or your entire lead order is filled. And so that brings to the first pro of Facebook leads, is that you can actually generate leads fairly quickly with Facebook leads relative to other kinds of leads. Direct mail typically takes, depending on the vendor you use, 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks to generate leads to start to come in. So there's a lot of upfront investment before you actually have even a first whack at working the leads. Whereas with Facebook leads, one big advantage is that your leads start coming in fairly quickly. So there's not a lot of money tied up in your lead generation as you're sitting around waiting for the leads coming in. You get leads fairly quickly and begin to go to work right away. The way these Facebook leads work with most vendors is fairly simple. You get all the basic information that you would with a normal lead: name, address, city, state, zip code. Some vendors will provide things like an email, a phone number, usually phone numbers on all of them. And then some will provide some kind of like, how can you say, a favorite hobby or favorite color, some kind of identifier to remind these people what these leads are and then their action in doing it. And as far as the results or how you can work the leads, I know there's telemarketing, or I should say telesales, final expense agencies that use Facebook leads as their primary source of leads. One of the biggest reasons why is you can scale up final expense Facebook leads tremendously. Once you have developed a lead, you can basically just blast that ad to a lot of different markets and generate them in a tremendous level. I know one particular agency that's doing this. They've got a small call center. They do their own Facebook marketing. Their closing ratio is not the greatest, but because they can economically generate the leads, they're writing $10,000, $20,000 per agent a month. It's incredible. So as far as the face-to-face working agent is concerned, that's more or less my experience, and that's more or less where I'm going to focus on in the descriptions of Facebook leads for final expense, is what is it like working Facebook final expense leads? I had a conversation with an agent of mine in Texas, and I thought he put the description of the Facebook leads perfectly. There is an element of polarity in Facebook leads that you're not going to find with any other lead. So here's what I mean. My experience in working Facebook leads is that you can call them, set appointments just fine. You can door knock them, set appointments, get in the door just fine. However, the experience I've had is that the actual person you talk to usually fits in the one of two camps. One, they're absolutely in love whatever it is that you're selling them. They let you come in. They're more or less what we call laydowns. As long as you don't goof tremendously, you'll make the sale. While the other half tends to be people who have absolutely no clue why you're at their door. In fact, sometimes are angry or threatening even, and don't want anything to do with final expense coverage. In fact, they'll claim that they never even requested it. And it's not like what you would find if you've ever worked direct mail leads, where you get people who claim they don't, then you show them the card and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. These people are usually vociferously against the idea that they actually requested this information. So when you work these leads, what you can expect with a Facebook final expense lead is that you'll probably see more dichotomy between the kind of prospects that you're experiencing. On one hand, you'll have people who are easy laydowns, and the other hand, you'll never make the sales with them. Now, I think this is a good thing. It lessens your time in the field with people who are kind of wishy-washy, flippy-floppy, if you will, and you really spend more time with the quote-unquote buyers versus the kind of mushy middle. One other element I have noticed is that with these particular type of Facebook leads is that you tend to develop, I think, a higher per average premium sale. Facebook leads tend to be maybe a cut or two above in overall socioeconomic quality versus what you would see with, say, a final expense direct mail lead. So you're probably going to be in a better quality home. The income is going to skew higher for Facebook leads, and it's likely that you'll sell a higher average monthly premium size. With that, just like I mentioned with the telesales group, my experience is that the closing ratio, if you get a good agent that can close 20-25% of direct mail leads, they'll either close at that level or below, maybe 10, 15, 20%, give or take, to what one would do with direct mail. So the quality of conversions isn't as good as I would suggest is normal for a good agent when working direct mail. Also, the other thing about Facebook leads is that you tend to have to work a higher or larger geographical area. Simply put, because not all of our market for final expense is on Facebook. So if you run face-to-face business and you work in a more rural area, it's very likely you're going to have to cover a larger geographic area like you would with telemarketed leads. Biggest advantage with direct mail leads, of course, is that there is no do not mail list, and we can drop and solicit leads even in a rural area and get enough saturation to stay busy there for a while. Whereas with Facebook leads, you might have to work multiple counties to make it all make sense in the long run. So who does Facebook leads and how can you generate them? So I'm going to give you a couple of references. First of all, we can fulfill Facebook lead orders. I actually give a significant discount if you're either a insurance, if you're a part of my insurance agency in the Final Expense Agent Mentor program. Instead of the $35 retail charge I charge, or $20 a lead. If you are part of my Inner Circle program, they start at $27.50 a lead and go lower to $26.50 if you buy in volume. You can also look at Cody Askins at secureagentmentor.com. They do a lot of Facebook generated leads. The other thing I'll mention here is that for agents that work in my agency with me personally, and those that work in the Inner Circle program, I actually have a module that teaches you how to generate your own final expense leads without the need of sourcing those leads through a vendor. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, the biggest thing is whenever you buy from a vendor, you're going to have a price markup. You're going to pay a higher price per lead because you're essentially paying for the service of someone managing your campaign, producing those leads, and coming up with everything necessary to put you in a position to work leads, right? So you're going to pay a surplus. And if you like Facebook leads and you find you work them over a continuous period of time, you're going to pay a lot of extra money for the retail price. So why not look at generating them and be the wholesaler, be the originator? I have known vendors that produce Facebook final expense leads that are doing them, and even individual agents too, $9 a lead, $10 a lead, $11 a lead. So why pay me $20 a lead when you could probably get a $11, $12, $13 average price point once you get your ads up and running and Facebook starts to get used to the ads, knows who to show it to them, and brings that overall price point down. I have complete training on how to do that. Again, you've got to be a member of my Inner Circle program, or you have to be a part of my agency to learn it. But I mean, do the math. You know, if you did 50 Facebook leads a week and your average price point was $12, that's, geez, what is that? That's, do the math on that quickly, Dave, hurry. I think that's $1,200, $1,100. Yeah, something like that. I'll let you guys correct me. Maybe it's not even that much. Actually, no, I think it's $600. Whereas if you did 20 times, if you paid even the lowest price to fulfill an order, 20 times 500, that's $1,000. So 600 if you generate yourself, 1,000 if you do it through, say, you buy from us, and that's a $400 difference. You do that weekly for a month, that's $1,600 times 12 months. It's almost $20,000 in difference in cost to generate those leads, of which you can put into more leads, reinvest in your own retirement program, or just do whatever you want to. So I think in Facebook leads, unlike direct mail or telemarketing, which has a lot more moving parts, which has, you know, a capital investment with direct mail, you got to have a human investment with telemarketed leads. You got to find telemarketers that are consistent. You got to hire them. You got to train them. You got to prod them. You got to be nice to them. With Facebook leads, you don't have to do any of that. You simply go into your Facebook ad manager. You follow the, you basically just set up an ad, decide who you want to target it to. It's all very simple. and then you let the ad run. Test it out. Don't spend a lot of money. Get an idea of where the average cost is, and once you start seeing some consistency, start to scale it up. Spend more ad dollars per day to scale up so that you start getting the lead flow that you want. And when you run into troubles with Facebook leads, as far as if you say your response rates start dropping, you change the picture up, you change the market up. So there's all sorts of cool things you can do with Facebook leads, and you really don't need the kind of investment in human capital, physical capital, like you do with most direct mail or telemarketing campaigns that make it work. So anyways, hope that helps you out. My name is Dave Duford at Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com. Of course, I cannot forget to press and pimp my own wares here. Of course, if you, there goes the Think and Grow Rich book. That's a good one too. The Official Guide to Selling Final Expense Life Insurance is my book. Of course, I wrote it many years ago. It's designed to help agents new to final expense learn how to sell final expense, how to prospect for final expense. I include scripts, suggestions, ways to improve your game. If you're new to final expense or experienced and struggling and want some advice in written form on how to do better in the selling of final expense, and this book is perfect for you. Again, you can find my book, Selling Final Expense Insurance, Official Guide, on Amazon.com. You can find the ebook on my website at feagentmentor.com. Just look where it says buy my book or something like that at the top. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I hope this gives you an idea of how Facebook leads really work and how you can implement them yourself if you wanted to in your own Facebook marketing campaign. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't. Dave Duford logging off. Take care.